Continuing now our coverage on Britney Griner's release with local reaction. Western Mass News reporter Kristen Burnell joins us live after getting answers. Kristen.
Digging deeper into this specific case involving Britney Griner and the exchange that happened with Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout.
This is a great day. It's somewhat bittersweet. It's great that Britney Griner has been released for being wrongfully detained.
People in Western Mass are providing mixed reaction after WNBA star Britney Griner was released from Russian detention on Thursday.
I love marijuana. It's something that I consume on the regular, just out of, just for entertainment and social purposes. But, you don't bring drugs into another country. That's just the long and the short of it.
This after Russia made an exchange with the United States for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout, who was serving a 25-year prison sentence. U.S. officials say he conspired to sell weapons that were to be used against Americans.
Putin needs this arms dealer now more than ever because the Russians have been reduced to launching, in some cases, missiles with no explosives in them. They are running out of weapons. And the #1 arms dealer in the world, who possibly still has all of his contacts, might be a very useful person.
Western Mass News spoke with Western New England University history professor John Back. He is providing more insight about Griner's case.
If the amount of cannabis that she was carrying was actually detectable to someone not looking to punish a political prisoner, it would be relevant. But she was no drug dealer. She was not trying to bring a narcotic or controlled substance into a country.
And Professor Back also providing perspective on this latest move from Russia.
Americans being held by the Russians on basically bogus charges. They are political prisoners of a Russian government that's looking to hurt America.
Now coming up at 6, we're getting reaction from local law experts about other American citizens, such as Paul Whelan, who are currently serving time in Russian prisons. Reporting live in studio, Kristen Burnell, Western Mass News.